Have you ever felt your body react before your mind can explain it? Like your chest tightens and your brain instantly starts preparing for something bad. Like you are already defending yourself, already rehearsing what to say, already shrinking inside. Maybe it happens in class. A professor pauses and looks around, and you suddenly feel exposed. Maybe it happens at work. A message pops up that says, "Hey, can we talk?" Maybe it happens in relationships. Someone's reply is shorter than usual, and your stomach drops. Or you hear a door shut a little harder, and your whole mood shifts it. If any of that sounds familiar, I want you to hear this first. You are not broken. You are experiencing a threat system that is doing what it was designed to do: detect risk fast, before you have time to think. Most of us were never taught how this system works, so we assume the reaction means something about our character. I am too sensitive. I am unstable. I am weak. But a better explanation is this. Your brain has an internal security team, and sometimes it hits the emergency button too easily. In this episode, we are going to explain the brain's threat system in a way that makes your life make sense. Not as a lecture, as a map. We will talk about why the alarm goes off, what it does to your body, why your thoughts get extreme, and why logic feels useless in the heat of the moment. Then we will build a simple reset you can use in real time, and a slower plan to retrain the system over days and weeks. Think of today like a guided tour of a building called you. There is a front desk that handles normal life. There are cameras that scan the environment. There is an alarm system that triggers emergency mode OTC. There are protocols for fight, flight, freeze, and please. And there is a calm control room that can make wise choices, but only when the alarm is not blaring. The goal is not to rip out the alarm. The goal is to understand it, adjust its sensitivity, and learn how to return to calm without forcing. So when the wave hits, you can say, "Oh, this is my system protecting me." And that one sentence can be the beginning of control returning up. And if you are listening right now and thinking, "Okay, but how does this help me tomorrow morning when I get triggered again?" It helps because the moment you can name what is happening, you stop adding a second layer of panic. You stop panicking about the panic. You stop judging the reaction as proof that you are doomed. You start treating it like weather. It is here, it will pass, and you can steer while it moves through. So keep listening with one intention. Not to memorize every concept, just to recognize your own pattern. Because once you recognize the pattern, you can interrupt either. Imagine a smoke detector in a kitchen. It is not trying to annoy you. It is not trying to embarrass you in front of guests. It has one job: detect smoke fast, scream loud, make sure you respond. Your threat system is your internal smoke detector. It detects danger fast. It screams through the body. And it does not wait for a full investigation. Sometimes the alarm rings for real smoke. Sometimes it rings because you burned toast. And sometimes it rings because you turned on the oven, and it remembers a time the oven actually caught fire. That last part matters, because your brain learns patterns, and it prefers early warnings over perfect accuracy. In nature, the cost of a false alarm is small. You ran when you did not need to. You hid when there was no predator. But the cost of missing real danger can be life-changing. So the brain evolves toward, better safe than sorry. In modern life, the smoke is rarely smoke. It is social risk, uncertainty, and loss of control. A teacher calling on you unexpectedly. A manager saying we need to talk. A friend going quiet in a group chat. A partner sounding distant. A grade that drops. A comment that feels sharp. A memory that flashes for half a second. Even a sensation in your body, like tight chest or dizziness, can be interpreted as danger. This is why the alarm can feel unfair. Because it is not trying to be fair. It is trying to keep you alive. And here's the key. A smoke detector cannot tell the difference between burned toast and a house fire. It just detects smoke. Your threat system is similar. It cannot always tell the difference between mild social discomfort and real danger. It just detects risk signals. So if you have been blaming yourself for reacting, try this instead. Respect the alarm, then check the level of smoke. That is regulation. Not pretending nothing happened, but calibrating the response to what is real. You have probably noticed this already. The alarm is louder when you are stressed, when you are tired, when you are hungry, when you are lonely, when you are overloaded. That is not weakness, that is sensitivity in a system running hot. So when your alarm goes off, it can help to do a quick check. Is this a house fire, or is this toast? Is my body already exhausted? Have I been pushing too hard? Have I been holding my breath all day? Sometimes the fastest regulation is not mental at all. Sometimes it is water, food, rest, stepping outside, letting your body come back to baseline. Here is the twist that explains so much. Your brain can treat emotional pain like physical danger. It can react to rejection the way it would react to a loud crash. It can react to humiliation the way it would react to a threat nearby. It can react to uncertainty like a cliff edge, even when nothing is physically happening. Why? Because humans survive in groups. Belonging has always been linked to safety. So the brain treats signals of exclusion as important, sometimes urgent. That is why emotional threat shows up as body sensations. Heart racing, breathing tight, stomach flipping, heat in the face, pressure in the throat, shaking hands, restlessness, the need to move, or the urge to do something right now, anything, just to make the feelings stop. And sometimes it shows up as the opposite. Numbness, heaviness, brain fog, feeling detached, like you are watching your life through a screen. Not caring, even though you want to care. It can feel scary because it feels like you disappeared. These are not character flaws. These are nervous system strategies. And once the body alarm starts, the mind often rushes in to explain it. It creates a story that matches the intensity in the body. Something is wrong. I messed up. They hate me. I will fail. I am behind. I am not enough. That story feels real because the body feels real. So, you try to think your way out. You argue with yourself. You tell yourself to relax. You tell yourself it is not that serious. But the threat system is not listening to speeches. It is listening for safety signals. So the way out is not more mental pressure. The way out is learning how the system works, then speaking its language, which is body, rhythm, and safety cues. One of the most important things to understand is that the threat system prefers speed over accuracy. It would rather be wrong and safe than right and late. So it will often create feelings before you have any evidence. This is why you can walk into a room and feel disliked before anyone says a word. This is why you can open an email and feel dread before you read it. This is why you can hear your name and feel shame before you know what was said. When you stop treating that first wave as proof, you gain power. Because you can say, this is my alarm, not my destiny. If you want a quick way to tell whether the threat system is driving, listen for body urgency. Urgency says, do something right now or you will regret it. But real wisdom often feels slower. So when you feel rushed, treat it as a signal to slow your breathing and widen your focus. Now let's meet the main systems involved in plain language. You have a fast scanner and a slower thinker. The fast scanner is like a guard dog. It watches for danger. It reacts quickly. It focuses on patterns, tone, facial expression, sudden change. It cares about urgency more than accuracy. It wants simple answers, safe or unsafe, friend or threat. The slower thinker is like a wise advisor. It can reason, plan, reflect, and remember context. It can say maybe they are busy. It can say, one grade does not define me. It can say, I have options. It can hold more than one truth at once. But when the guard dog starts barking, the advisor can get drowned out. The brain shifts energy towards speed. That means less access to nuance, less access to words, less access to long-term thinking. That is why you might say something you regret, or freeze, or suddenly feel like you cannot handle what you handled yesterday. This is also why advice sometimes fails. Because advice is food for the advisor, not for the guard dog. When your system is activated, your body is not asking for a solution. It is asking, am I safe? So the goal is not to shame the guard dog. It is to calm it. And the way you calm it is not by yelling, it is by giving it proof of safety through the body. Think about a real dog. If it thinks there is a stranger outside, you cannot logic it into calm. You show it the room is safe. You speak softly. You slow your movement. You help it settle. Your nervous system works the same way. If you have ever said, "I know this is irrational, but I still feel it," that sentence is actually a sign of awareness. It means your wise advisor is still there. It is just speaking softly. So instead of trying to crush the feeling, try to create a bridge between the two systems. You calm the body so the advisor can speak louder. Then the advisor gives the dog a new instruction. Not, "Stop barking," but, "Thank you. I see what you saw. We are okay now." That tone matters, because your nervous system responds to the way you treat it. Have you ever wondered why certain people can set you off with one sentence? Or why one specific tone makes your whole body tense? That is your threat system reading signals beneath words. The scanner is constantly looking for danger cues. But danger cues are not always obvious. They can be subtle. A pause that feels cold. A smile that does not reach the eyes. A lack of warmth. A quick change in energy. A door that closes too sharply. A text that suddenly becomes shorter. A laugh that feels like you are the joke. Your scanner is not only looking outward, it is also scanning inward. If your heart rate is high, the brain asks, "Why is my body activated?" If your stomach is tight, it asks, "What is the threat?" If you feel dizzy, it asks, "What is wrong?" Sometimes, it gets it right. Sometimes it guesses. This is why being tired can make you more anxious. When you are exhausted, your body sends more stress signals. So the scanner thinks, something must be wrong. This is why hunger can make you irritable. This is why lack of sleep makes emotions louder. Because the scanner interprets body distress as risk. So if you feel like you are overreacting on certain days, check your baseline. How much sleep did you get? When did you eat? How long have you been holding tension? How many tabs are open in your mind? Stress stack. And when stress stacks, the scanner becomes jumpy. A jumpy scanner does not mean you are a problem. It means your system needs support, not judgment. Here is a useful reminder: your scanner is not only reacting to what is happening, it is reacting to what it expects. Expectation is based on past experience. So if you often expect criticism, you will hear criticism even in neutral feedback. That does not make you foolish, it makes you trained. And training can be updated. This is also why certain environments feel instantly unsafe. Bright lights, loud noise, crowded spaces, fast movement, too many people watching. Your scanner interprets that as more risk. If you grew up around unpredictability, your scanner may treat calm as suspicious. If you grew up around criticism, your scanner may treat feedback as danger. If you grew up having to read moods, your scanner may become a professional mind reader, always scanning faces. None of that is your fault. It is your system trying to keep you safe with the tools it learned. Let's make this real with a tiny everyday scene. You are walking through campus, or work, or a busy hallway. You see someone you know. They look in your direction and keep walking. No smile. No wave. No acknowledgement. In 2 seconds, your threat system can generate a full emergency. They are mad at me. I embarrassed myself. I am unwanted. I do not belong. Notice what your brain is doing. It is not asking, "What are the facts so?" It is asking, "What is the risk?" It is scanning for signs of exclusion because exclusion used to mean danger for humans. Then the mind tries to close the uncertainty gap. Because not knowing feels unsafe. So it fills the blank with a story. Often the worst story, because worst-case thinking feels like preparation. If I expect pain, I will not be surprised by pain. Now at a second scene. You post something, or you send a message in a group chat. People see it, but do not respond. Your scanner reads it as silence. Your body reacts. Then the story begins. I am annoying. I am not important. I should not have said that. This is how the threat system turns small social moments into identity conclusions. And it happens fast. A helpful move in moments like this is to buy time. Time is the enemy of threat mode, because threat mode demands immediate answers. But time is your friend because time gives you information. So you can say, I do not have enough information yet. Then you can choose a small, steady action. Keep walking. Focus on your next task. Let the moment pass. Later, if needed, you can ask directly, hey, did you see me earlier? Direct communication is scary, but guessing is exhausting. And your nervous system prefers clarity over imagination. A practical skill here is separating signal from meaning. Signal is, they did not wave. Meaning is, they hate me. Signal is neutral, meaning is your prediction. So you can train yourself to pause on the signal. They did not wave. That is all I know. Then you return to your life. You can also train yourself to seek direct data when it matters, instead of living in the guessing loop for days. Because the guessing loop feeds the alarm. Clarity calms the alarm. If you notice you are stuck replaying the moment, add a reset sentence. My brain is filling blanks. I can wait for data. Then redirect attention to something concrete. Your next step, your schedule. Concrete focus reduces emotional fog. Now we bring in the memory vault. Your brain stores emotional memories like shortcuts. Not as perfect videos, but as patterns that predict danger. If something hurt you before, your threat system remembers the shape of it, even if you do not consciously remember details. A similar tone, a similar look, a similar silence, a similar situation. Maybe you were laughed at when you spoke up in class. Now your body tightens before you speak, even with friends. Maybe you were punished for making mistakes. Now small errors feel like a crisis. Maybe love felt inconsistent. Now distance feels like rejection. Maybe you were forced to grow up too fast. Now rest feels unsafe, like you should be doing more. Here is a story to make this concrete. Imagine you once made a mistake and someone responded with anger, or shame, or withdrawal. Your body learned mistakes equal danger. So years later you drop a glass or you miss a detail, and your heart reacts like a siren. Not because the glass matters, because the pattern matters. This is emotional learning. It is fast, it is sticky, and it does not require your permission. And the learning can be microscopic. One humiliating moment can train your scanner for years. One relationship that felt unsafe can make your scanner hyper alert. One season of burnout can teach your body to expect pressure as normal. Healing often means updating the memory. Not by forgetting the past, but by creating new experiences in the present. Safe conversations, calm corrections, mistakes that do not end in rejection, silence that does not end in abandonment. Those experiences teach the scanner, this pattern is not always danger anymore. When people say, why can I not just get over it? They are often asking the nervous system to forget a lesson it learned for survival. But the nervous system forgets through new learning, not through pressure. So be patient with yourself. If your system learned fear over years, it may take time to learn safety. That does not mean you are stuck. It means you are human. When you create new experiences, go slow enough that your body can actually learn. If you force yourself into huge challenges, the scanner will treat it as proof that life is dangerous. But if you take small steps and stay regulated, the scanner updates. Small safe steps teach safety. Big scary steps teach fear. If you want a simple map of how the threat system hijacks you, here it is. Cue. Body. Story. Urge. Cue is the trigger, a text, a look, a deadline, a memory, a sensation. Body is the alarm, heart rate, breath, tension, heat, numbness. Story is the meaning, they hate me, I failed, I am not safe. Urge is the impulse, fix it, run, hide, attack, please, numb out. Most people try to fight the urge first. But urges are strong when the body is high alert. So you work earlier in the chain. You calm the body, you soften the story, then the urge becomes workable. This is why emotional control feels impossible when you skip the body step. If your body is screaming danger, the urge will also scream. So the secret is not more willpower. The secret is working with the chain in the right order. Here is another example. You walk into a room and people are already talking. Cue. Your chest tightens and your face gets hot. Body. You think, I do not belong here, they are judging me. Story. You feel an urge to stay quiet, look at your phone, escape. Urge it. If you regulate the body first, the whole chain shifts it. One long exhale. Feet on the ground. Eyes scanning the room slowly. Then the story becomes less extreme. Maybe they are just talking, maybe no one is thinking about me. And the urge becomes manageable. That is not denial, that is calibration. When you can see the chain, you stop taking the story as truth. You start seeing it as a nervous system prediction. If you want to catch the chain earlier, watch for the story words that appear. Always, never, everyone, no one, ruined, hopeless, done. These are threat mode words. They are signs the scanner is driving. When you hear those words, treat them as smoke. Not proof, just smoke. Then go back to the body. Long exhale. Grounding. And the story will often soften on its own. If you ever feel like your thoughts are bullying you, remember, threat mode uses strong language to push you into action. It speaks in absolutes, it speaks in panic, it speaks in emergency. So you can reply with a calmer voice. Thank you, I hear you, and I will choose slowly. That reply is not weakness, it is leadership. If you want a shortcut, remember body first, story second, action last. That order protects you from regret. And if you get lost, just return to the body because the body is the main switch. So what happens in the body when the alarm goes off? Your nervous system shifts into survival mode. Energy gets redirected. Muscles prepare. Attention narrows. The body prioritizes action over comfort. This is why anxiety feels physical. Tight chest. Fast heart. Sweaty hands. Restlessness. Or the feeling that you need to escape. In survival mode, your brain also changes what it pays attention to. It looks for evidence of danger. It zooms in on threats and ignores neutral information. That is why one negative comment can erase 10 positive ones in your mind. That is why you replay the awkward moment and forget the normal moments. That is your scanner doing its job, but too loudly. Your system has several strategies. Fight, you become sharp, defensive, ready to argue. Flight, you want to leave, avoid, cancel, scroll, distract, run mentally. Freeze, you go blank, quiet, stuck, unable to speak, unable to move. Fawn, you become extra agreeable, you apologize too much, you try to smooth everything over to stay safe. None of these responses make you a bad person. They are survival strategies. The problem is not that these strategies exist. The problem is that the system sometimes uses them in situations where you do not need them. Like pulling a fire alarm because someone knocked on the door. And the more you shame yourself for reacting, the more danger your system detects. Because shame tells the brain, we are not safe inside ourselves. So it doubles down on protection. This is why self-compassion is not a soft concept. It is a regulation tool. It signals safety from the inside. Also notice how survival mode changes your sense of time. Everything feels urgent. Like if you do not act now, it will be too late. That urgency is a body signal, not a fact. So a powerful micro skill is delaying action by even 30 seconds. 30 seconds of breathing, of feeling your feet, of loosening your jaw. 30 seconds can move you from reaction to response. And response is where your life gets easier. And when you notice the chain, you can pick where to intervene. Sometimes the best move is body first. Sometimes it is asking for clarity like, what did you mean by that? Sometimes it is stepping away for 5 minutes before responding. The goal is not one perfect method, the goal is having options. Options are safety. Even one option can calm you, because it means you are not trapped. Let's talk about freeze and shut down for a moment, because people misunderstand it. Freeze is not laziness. Shut down is not a lack of ambition. It is a survival response when your system decides fighting or running will not help. Freeze can feel like your mind goes blank. Words disappear. You cannot access what you know. You stare at the screen and nothing moves. You hear people talking but you feel far away. Shutdown can feel like you do not care, even though you want to care. You feel heavy. You avoid everything. You sleep too much or cannot get out of bed. You feel disconnected from your own goals. You tell yourself you are lazy, but the truth is you are protecting. The system chooses this when it thinks, if I move, something bad will happen. Or if I try, I will fail, and failure is danger. Or, if I show emotion, I will be punished. So, it protects you by lowering energy. What helps with freeze is not forcing big action. It is gentle activation. Tiny movement. Cold water on hands. Standing up and sitting down. Pressing your feet into the ground. Naming 5 things you can see. 1 small task with a timer. If you want a simple script, try this. Body, come back online just 5%. Then do 1 tiny action. Open the document. Write 1 sentence. Stand up. Walk to the door and back. Your job is not to feel motivated. Your job is to give the nervous system proof that movement is safe. If shutdown is your pattern, be careful with self-talk like, come on, get it together. Harsh self-talk can deepen shutdown because it feels like attack. Try a softer approach. Of course I shut down, my system is trying to protect me. What would make this 5% easier? What is 1 tiny action that does not scare my body? This is how you build self-trust. You stop abandoning yourself when your system is struggling. If you tend to freeze in conversations, give yourself permission to pause out loud. You can say, give me a second. Or I want to answer thoughtfully. Even 1 sentence can keep you inside the window of tolerance in. Pauses are powerful because they stop the threat system from rushing you into a reaction. Freeze often breaks when you add voice and movement together. Even whispering I am here while you move your toes can help. If you can, soften your hands. Hands often hold the alarm without you noticing. Here's a gentle idea that changes everything. Your threat system does not only detect danger, it also detects safety. But if your system has been stressed for a long time, it can lose sensitivity to safety cues. It becomes like a guard who has worked too many night shifts says. Everything looks suspicious. Calm feels unfamiliar. Rest feels unsafe. Even good news can feel like a trap, like it will be taken away. Safety cues are small signals that tell your body, you can soften now. A warm voice. A steady presence. A predictable routine. A familiar smell. A comfortable hoodie. Sunlight through a window. A slow walk. A friend who does not judge you. A room where you can exhale. Some people call these glimmers, small moments of safety. They matter because the nervous system learns through repetition. Not through speeches. Not through willpower. Through exposure. So here's a practice you can try today. When you notice a glimmer, pause for 5 seconds. Let your shoulders drop slightly. Let your breath soften. Tell yourself, this is safe enough. Then continue your day. It sounds small, but it trains the scanner. Because the scanner is a student, it learns what you repeatedly show it. If you repeatedly show it threat, it becomes more anxious. If you repeatedly show it safety, it becomes more balanced. You are not forcing positivity. You are restoring the brain's ability to notice what is safe, not only what is scary. If you want to practice glimmers, here is a simple challenge. Today, notice 3 moments that feel even slightly safe. A sip of warm drink, a soft chair, a friend's voice, a quiet corner, a song you like. When you notice it, do not rush past it. Stay with it for 1 full breath. Let the body register, this is okay. That breath is a vote for safety. And small votes add up. Also notice how safety cues can come from your own actions. When you keep promises to yourself, your system feels safer. When you rest before you crash, your system feels safer. When you set 1 boundary, your system feels safer. Internal safety is built by consistency, not by perfection. You can be your own safety cue. Gentle self-talk, steady breathing, and small routines teach the body, I am cared for. You can also build a safety playlist. 1 or 2 songs that your body associates with calm repetition builds the link. Let's talk about the window of tolerance in a way you can actually use. The window is the zone where you can feel emotions and still think clearly enough to choose. Inside the window you can be nervous and still speak. You can be sad and still do what matters. You can be angry and still stay respectful. You can be stressed and still plan. Above the window is hyperarousal. That is panic, urgency, racing thoughts, irritability, feeling wired, feeling like you must act now. Below the window is hypoarousal. That is numbness, shutdown, emptiness, low energy, disconnection, feeling like nothing matters. Your threat system pushes you above or below depending on what feels safest. If your system learned that danger is everywhere, it may live above the window. If your system learned that emotions are punished, it may drop below the window. Widening the window is partly about daily regulation habits. Sleep stabilizes the nervous system. Food and hydration reduce internal alarm signals. Movement discharges stress energy. Sunlight helps the body regulate rhythm. Connection signals safety. Rest is not laziness, it is maintenance. Also note the hidden factor, buffer. Buffers the space between you and overload. When you have buffer, small stress stays small. When you have no buffer, everything feels like too much. You build buffer by saying no sometimes. By doing less when your system is tired. By giving yourself recovery time before you reach crisis. The goal is not perfect calm. The goal is returning faster with less shame and less damage. If you keep leaving the window, that is not failure. It is feedback. It means your system is overworked. And the most effective response is not more pressure. It is more support. Support can look like reducing stimulation. Taking breaks before you crash. Asking for help. Letting yourself be a human with limits. Because limits are not weakness, they are reality. If you want to widen your window, start with one daily anchor. A regular sleep time. A short walk after meals. 5 minutes of stretching. A few long exhales before bed. These are simple, but they are powerful because your nervous system loves rhythm. Rhythm tells the body, life is predictable enough. Rhythm is medicine for the nervous system. Not glamorous, but deeply effective. Simple works. So how do you work with the threat system in real time? Step 1 is recognition, and it starts earlier than you think. Most people only notice when they are already in the storm. But you can learn to catch the first spark. The first spark might be tight chest, clenched jaw, racing inner voice, sudden heat in your face, a feeling of being watched, a sharp urge to check, fix, explain, defend, or escape. A thought like, something is wrong. When you notice it, name it in plain language. My alarm is on. My body thinks there is danger. I am in protection mode. Then add a choice statement. I can slow down before I respond. I can wait before I act. I can handle this wave without obeying it. If you want to make it even simpler, use a 3-word label. Alarm is on. That is it too. Short, clear, not dramatic. Recognition also gets easier when you track patterns. What time of day do you get more reactive? Who triggers you most? What situations make you shrink? What situations make you lash out? Patterns are not shameful. Patterns are information. And information is power. The goal is not to never feel triggered. The goal is to notice sooner and recover sooner. A quick exercise. Think of the last time you got triggered. Now rewind the moment like a movie. What was the first spark? Was it the tight chest? Was it the urge to explain? Was it the thought, something is wrong? That first spark is where your power lives. You do not need to wait for the explosion. You can intervene at the spark. And even if you miss it sometimes, noticing late is still progress. Because awareness is the first lever. Another skill is noticing your protective style. Do you fight, become sharp? Do you flee, avoid, and disappear? Do you freeze, go quiet and blank? Do you fawn, become extra agreeable? There is no bad answer. Your style developed for a reason. When you can name your style, you can choose a different response, even a little L. And little is how big change begins. Here is a tiny plan for the week. Pick one common trigger, something mild. When it shows up, do the 3 steps: name, long exhale, small action. Then later, Reflect for 1 minute. What helped, what did not. This turns your life into feedback instead of shame. And feedback is how the nervous system learns. And when you spot the spark, celebrate it. That moment of noticing is the doorway to change. Step 2 is to give your body a safety update. Not by arguing with the feeling. By speaking the nervous system's language, which is sensation and rhythm. Try this 1-minute reset, right now as you listen. Inhale normally. Exhale longer, slow, like you are letting air out of a balloon. Do it again. On the exhale, drop your shoulders. Let your jaw loosen. Let your hands soften. Then orient. Look slowly around the room. Let your eyes land on ordinary objects. A wall. A door. A lamp. A book. A cup. Name them quietly in your mind. This tells your brain, we are here, not back there. Then add pressure to the body, because pressure signals stability. Press your feet into the ground. Or press your palms together. Or hold a pillow against your chest. Gentle pressure can help the system feel contained. If you are in public and need something invisible, slow your breathing. Unclench your tongue. Relax the space between your eyebrows. These tiny changes can reduce the alarm. Do not demand instant calm. Aim for a 5% drop in intensity. 5% is enough to regain choice. And choice is everything. If you keep practicing this, your body starts to trust you. It learns, when the alarm rings, you show up, you do not abandon me. If you want a tool you can use anywhere, try counting your exhale. Inhale normally. Exhale and count slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do that twice. Counting keeps the mind from spiraling while the body settles. Another invisible tool is softening your gaze. Threat mode makes your eyes sharp and narrow. Soft gaze tells the brain, we are not hunting, we are safe enough. Small signals, big impact. If breathing feels hard when you are anxious, focus on the exhale only. Let the inhale happen by itself. Slow exhale is a safety message the body understands. You can also use temperature. Cool water on your face or hands. A cold drink. A splash of water. Temperature changes can interrupt the alarm quickly and bring you back to the present. If you feel overwhelmed, reduce the task to 1 minute. 1 minute of breathing. 1 minute of orienting. 1 minute of movement. When 1 minute is possible, the brain stops feeling trapped, and trapped is what makes the alarm loud. If you practice this once a day when you are calm, it becomes easier to access when you are stressed. Practice builds availability. Step 3 is to handle the story carefully. Because once the alarm is on, the mind tends to write extreme stories. If they did not reply, they hate me. If I make one mistake, I am doomed. If I feel nervous, I will fail. If I slow down, I will fall behind. Instead of fighting the story, soften it. Say, my brain is guessing. Say, I do not have enough information yet. Say, this is one possible explanation, not the only explanation. Then ask 2 grounding questions. What do I know for sure right now? What is my next smallest helpful action? You are not trying to force a positive story. You are trying to create room for reality. Room calms the nervous system, because room means options. Here is a phrase, bank you can borrow. This feels urgent, but it can wait. My feelings are real, my story might be wrong. I can be uncomfortable without being unsafe. I'm allowed to pause. I can respond later. And if you want a quick reality check, what would I tell a friend in my exact situation? Most people are kinder and more accurate when speaking to someone else. Borrow that voice. Speak to yourself like a steady friend. That steadiness is a safety cue. One more question that helps soften the story. What else could be true? Not what do I hope is true. What else could realistically be true? This breaks the trap of one storyline. And when you have more than one storyline, your nervous system relaxes. Because it is no longer cornered. Cornered systems panic. Open systems breathe. If the story feels sticky, write 1 line on your phone or a paper. Just 1 line. What am I afraid will happen? Then another line. What is the smallest step I can take even if that fear exists? Writing turns swirling into structure, and structure calms the scanner. And remember, you are not trying to convince yourself everything is fine. You are trying to stay open to more than one possibility. Open to possibilities. Open to calm. That is the direction. When you feel cornered by one story, your job is to open the door, even a little, because open doors feel safer than locked rooms. You can also separate thought from truth by adding a small prefix. My mind says. My fear says. My alarm says. That prefix creates distance, and distance reduces intensity. Then you can choose what you want to do, instead of what the alarm wants. So, a calm question you can ask is, what part of this is true right now, and what part is prediction? Separating them brings you back to the present. Step 4 is the part most people skip. Choose a smaller action than your emotion demands. Threat mode demands extremes. Text them again now. Apologize now. Quit now. Hide now. Prove yourself now. Argue now. But you can choose the smallest steady action instead. Wait 10 minutes before replying. Drink water. Write one sentence. Take one shower. Do one task for 5 minutes. Ask one clear question instead of guessing. Close the app for a short time. This is called riding the urge. Urges rise, peak, and fall, like waves. If you act at the peak, you often regret it. If you delay even a little, the wave changes shape. So when the urge hits, try this. Name it, I feel the urge to fix this. Then set a timer for 10 minutes. During the 10 minutes, do one grounding action. Then decide again. Most of the time the urge will be lower. Lower is enough for wise choice. If you want a powerful question, ask this. Will I be proud of this choice tomorrow? Threat mode thinks only about now. Wise mode thinks about later. That question invites wise mode back into the room. If you tend to regret messages, decisions, or reactions, this step will change your life. Delay is not avoidance. Delay is wisdom. You can even create an if-then rule. If I feel a strong urge, then I wait 10 minutes. If I feel rejected, then I ground first. If I feel ashamed, then I slow down before speaking. Rules like this protect you on days when your brain is tired. They act like guardrails. And guardrails are not weakness. They are design. You do not need to win the moment. You need to protect the next hour of your life. If you want a stronger guardrail, create a delay rule for your phone. No replying when your chest is tight. No sending messages when your hands are shaking. Regulate first, then communicate. This single rule can save relationships and save you from self-regret. And if you act too fast sometimes, forgive yourself quickly, then return to the steps. Shame keeps the alarm active, kindness helps it subtly. If your body is shouting, your words will be sharp or needy. So let your body quiet first, then your words will sound like you, not like fear. Now let's apply this to performance situations, the moments that light up the threat system fast. Exams, interviews, presentations, first days, new groups, anything where you feel evaluated. The threat system translates evaluation as risks. If I fail, I lose status. If I embarrass myself, I lose belonging. If I look incompetent, I lose safety. Your logical mind may disagree, but your body reacts anyway. So, here is a better goal than be calm. The goal is, be regulated enough to think. Try a simple before routine. One long exhale. Then, a believable safety sentence. I can be nervous and still do this. Or, I do not have to be perfect, I just have to be present. Then pick one anchor. One thing you will focus on when your mind races. The next question. The first sentence. The first slide. One step only. During the event, keep returning to the anchor. Threat mode wants to zoom out to the whole future. Regulation brings you back to the next step. After the event, do aftercare. Your threat system needs a clear ending. Walk. Stretch. Hydrate. Let your body feel completion. This reduces rumination, because your system knows the danger is over. If you replay later, remind yourself. Replaying is the brain trying to learn. You can guide it by asking what went well, what will I do next time, then stop. If you are someone whose mind goes blank during pressure, Plan for that gently. Write your first sentence down. Practice saying it out loud once. Create a tiny ritual, like touching your thumb and finger together, to anchor your body. Your threat system calms when it knows what comes next. So predictable routines are powerful. Not rigid, just predictable. A beginning, a middle, an end. One more trick for performance anxiety. Practice the moment you usually fear the most. The first sentence. The first handshake. The first question. Then stop. Do not overpractice until you burn out. A few calm reps teach the scanner, I know what to do. That familiarity reduces alarm. And remember, nerves are energy, you can use them. Let them sharpen focus, not steal your voice. One step, one breath, one sentence at a time. Confidence is not absence of fear. Confidence is moving while fear is present. Your body can be activated and you can still perform. Focus on your anchor and let the feeling ride in the background like noise. Afterward, treat your nervous system like it ran a race, give it water, movement, and a gentle landing, so it does not stay on high alert. And now relationship anxiety, because connection is where the threat system can get the loudest. You send a message. Time passes. No reply. Your body reacts like danger, even if you hate that it does. The urge rises. Double text. Refresh. Replay your words. Search for signs. Pause and name it. My attachment alarm is on. Then regulate your body before you decide anything. Long exhale. Feel your feet. Unclench your hands. Do something physical, even small. Wash a cup. Fold a shirt. Take a short walk. Your body needs signals more than explanations right now. Then choose the smallest wise boundary. Wait 20 minutes before acting. Write the message in notes, not sent. Do one task, then check again. Time gives data. Threat mode hates time because time is uncertainty. But time is also clarity. If you want a communication tool, try a gentle check-in. Hey, just checking, are we okay? One message, clear, not begging, not accusing. Then you stop. If the relationship is healthy, clarity will come. If the relationship is inconsistent, your alarm will keep ringing, and that is information too. The long-term solution is not endless reassurance. It is building inner safety, learning clear communication, and choosing relationships where care is consistent too. And if the alarm is loud in relationships, try to notice what you are truly needing. Is it reassurance? Is it clarity? Is it consistency? Is it closeness? Needs are not shameful. But chasing needs from panic usually backfires. So you soothe first, then speak. That order matters. Calm first, then communicate. If your mind reads silence as danger, create a plan with yourself. When silence happens, I will wait. I will regulate, and I will ask clearly if needed. A plan reduces guessing. And reducing guessing reduces alarm. You do not have to earn safety by chasing it. You can create safety by grounding and communicating. If communication feels hard, start with a neutral fact. I noticed we have not talked much today. Then add a simple need. I would like some clarity. That is direct without drama. And directness reduces guessing. You deserve relationships where you do not have to guess constantly. Consistent care is calming, confusion is activating. And if you need to set a boundary, you can do it softly. I care about us, and I also need clarity. Calm boundaries are safety cues too. Healthy connection can handle a pause. You do not have to respond instantly to be loved. One more thing, the long-term training matters. Because the threat system updates through experience, not through lectures. It learns, I can survive this feeling. I can stay present. I can tolerate uncertainty. I can handle a mistake without collapse. I can have conflict and still be safe. So you build small, safe exposures. Speak up once in class, even with a shaking voice. Send one honest message without rewriting it 10 times. Let a text go unanswered for 20 minutes and notice you are still okay. Make one small mistake on purpose, like sending a message with a tiny typo, and watch the world not end. Say no once, politely, and watch yourself survive the discomfort. These are not punishments. They are training reps. And every rep teaches the nervous system, alarm does not equal catastrophe. You also build safety reps, even when life is calm. Because practice in calm builds skill for stress. A slow walk, a stretch, a few long exhales, a warm drink, a short journal note, what felt safe today, what felt hard today. A moment of stillness where you let your body settle without rushing away. This is like practicing braking when the road is empty, so you can brake smoothly when traffic is heavy. Tiny reps repeated, make the system less reactive over time. As you train, celebrate the smallest wins. One moment where you paused. One moment where you did not send the extra message. One moment where you breathed instead of snapping. Your nervous system learns from reward. So notice your progress. Not as pride as evidence. Evidence that you are changing. And if you slip, if you react, if you send the message, if you shut down, do not turn it into a character story. Repair is part of training. You can apologize if needed. You can rest and reset. You can try again. Threat systems learn from the way you treat yourself after mistakes. A good recovery question after a hard moment is this: what would support look like right now? Support might be rest, food, a shower, a kind message to yourself, or a short walk. Do one supportive thing, then let the moment end. Ending matters, because the scanner keeps ringing when moments never feel finished. Progress is messy, but it is real. Every pause is a new pathway. Even noticing, I am activated, is progress, because most people act first and realize later. You are building awareness in real time. Repair teaches safety too. Because it shows your system, mistakes are survivable. Before we close, let this land. Your threat system is not your enemy. It is a protector with outdated map. It is trying to keep you safe using old predictions and old emergency protocols. When you respond with shame, the protector panics more. Because shame sounds like, we are not safe inside ourselves. But when you respond with curiosity, you calm the system. What is my body afraid of right now? What does it need? What is the smallest safe action I can take? So today, try it once. Catch the spark. Name the alarm. Long exhale. Soften the story. Choose the smallest steady action. If your emotions feel intense all the time, or you feel unsafe, or you are dealing with panic, trauma, or thoughts of harming yourself, please reach out to a qualified professional or local support resources. You deserve real help. This space is for education and self-understanding, not a replacement for care. Next episode, we go deeper into triggers, why they form, and how to stop being hijacked by the same moments again and again. Until then, be gentle with your system. It has been trying to protect you for a long time. If you want to make this practical, pick one tool from today and use it once. Just once. Alarm is on. Long exhale. Feet on ground. Small steady action. That is enough to start rewiring. Because change is not one dramatic breakthrough. Change is repetition with kindness. If you want a simple recap to keep, threat system is fast. It reacts to patterns. It changes your body first, then your thoughts. It prefers worst-case stories, because worst-case feels like preparation. And it calms through safety cues, not through self-criticism. So when you hear your own alarm this week, meet it like a good leader. Name it. Soften your body. Soften the story. Choose the smallest steady action. You are not trying to eliminate fear. You are learning to move with fear without losing yourself. If you want, replay this episode on a day you feel calm. Let your brain learn the map when the alarm is quiet. Then, the map is there when you need it. You do not have to master this in a day. Your system learned protection over years, so give it time, and keep showing it small moments of safety. And if you want to go deeper, try journaling one page. What patterns trigger my alarm? What does my alarm fear will happen? What would safety look like in small pieces? You are building a relationship with your nervous system, and relationships improve with attention.